It has been this kind of year for the UN Industrial Development Organization, spurred by the pace of climate change, a blur of projects, big and small. And at the center, energy.
We know there has been a lot of discussion of climate change, but we don't think there has been enough discussion on energy. Energy systems account for 75% of greenhouse gas emissions. You can't solve the climate problem without having new energy solutions.
Without energy, no productivity. Without productivity, no wealth. Without wealth, no end to poverty. That's Kande Yumkela's reasoning, and UNIDO has aired it at major conferences around the world in 2009, in Vienna, Manila, and Leon, Mexico. Whether it is encouraging wind energy in Latin America or admiring the fuel-efficient tortilla bakery, bringing light to homes in the African outback, or spotlighting the success factors in Asia's move towards sustainable energy.
If you really want to fight poverty, you must create wealth. That's what the Asians have taught us.
So we demand real transfer of technology. We mobilize our own resources. We create our own middle-class markets. And we certainly do all necessary things to make sure that our industrialization will be sustainable, not affecting our environment.
UNIDO brings people together. At its forums, experts and decision-makers share ideas, test their positions, seek out consensus.
We were created to be a catalyst for change, industrial transformation. We start with small ideas, small solutions to help countries deal with their problems. We get a donor to finance, or the country itself to finance the testing of these ideas, building the capacity. We look for partners that can scale it up.
At UNIDO's December General Conference in Vienna, again, a range of prominent figures.
We have to recognize that poverty is one of the greatest enemies of the environment. We cannot disassociate poverty and environmental degradation in developing countries.
If we don't get a solution, then all of us, both developed and developing countries, are going to be in a serious trouble.
People must understand that the way they move themselves is not sustainable. So I think that our main challenge is to make people think green, not only think related to technologies.
And if I can embed green into the DNA of the company, when I grow my top line, it's a green growth. When I'm improving my profitability, it's a green profitability. My shareholders, when they look at me as a corporation, they say if it's a green company, I will give it a less risk factor.
From the President of Iceland, a country made prosperous by geothermal power, some good news.
There are about 100 countries in the world that have a considerable geothermal potential, and most of these countries are in the developing world. The abundance of clean energy could give developing countries a strategic advantage in the 21st century global economy if the right policies are adopted.
The right policies, and if. Also on the minds of African leaders at Vienna.
It is now an accepted fact that Africa has the highest potential for bioenergy, including biofuels, higher than South America, higher than North America and Western Europe put together, and higher than all of Asia. And I dare to say that posterity will not forgive us if we fail to make the timely, positive decisions that will succeed in turning around the fortunes of many poor farmers across the continent.
Sometimes getting it right means thinking outside the grid, outside the big electrical grids where millions of the world's poorest abide the nights in darkness. Teamed up with UNIDO, Rito Ricciardi's Dream Power is lighting up rural Kenya house by house and generating jobs and better lives along the way. Dream Power teaches street boys to assemble light-emitting diodes into lanterns that can be charged from many sources.
donor funds is sent to Kenya is actually spent in Kenya, because it could be also very easy to import a lantern like this either from China or from India. But the aim of UNIDO is to develop the people in the countries.
Out of the grid, or sometimes out of the box. Green entrepreneur Gunter Pauli tells Vienna delegates they could be shaving with a new kind of silk.
We can replace stainless steel and titanium with silk at half of the costs.
And it seems making 1 ton of raw silk produces 9 tons of fertilizer.
And so the real contribution of silk is the fertilizer and the regeneration of topsoil, and silk is the byproduct.
Director General Jumkela now has a new 4-year mandate to promote green industry, but he's thinking beyond that.
Green is not a color or a slogan. It is a way of life.